free from the pits. Hear the crowd roll out. No darkness can hold me. I stand tall and proud. With Coleman and Gabby, the legends won't quit. I put the lotion on my skin, and I escape the pit. The walls tried to crush me, the bats took flight, but I smeared on the lotion just to keep my shine bright. Now the torches are claimed and the tale is told of the pit survivors screaming brave and bold. I broke free from the pits. Hear the crowd roll out. No darkness can hold me. I stand tall and proud. The Coleman and Gabby, the legends won't quit. I put the lotion on my skin, and I escape the pits.
Hey guys, what is up? I am back. I'm free from the pit. I'm here. I'm in a very temporary setting at the moment, and I'm a little off kilter. I feel like I'm facing that way for some reason. I don't know what's happening, but I should be in my permanent space tomorrow. It's been a week, 7 days, like the song said. But I have brought her back. No, we did not plan the color coordination there. That was a complete accident. Possibly.
I like your song.
Thanks. Oh, my glasses are so dirty. But
Glad you're out of the pit finally.
I had to come up with something to remember. Yes, you kept saying I was missing. I was in the pit. I figured Gabby would love it. So it will not be the song for this trial. I promise that. I will have a different intro. Obviously, I can't use Pam Smart because this isn't Pam Smart. But I can't come up with an intro for this trial unless we get something like the mannequins or something that's lighter, because this is not a light trial.
No.
But first, I want to say hi to people. Sorry, everything's if I'm shaking here because I'm on like a very long card table. My desk just got delivered today. It is being set up downstairs as we speak. So I will be hopefully down there tomorrow. What's up, Bri? It's good to see you. And Frank. And Lavi. Dark boots. And where are you at, Gabby? I saw you. Hey, Gabby. Hey. Thank you, Frank. What's up, Carmen? I see you right there. I think I got it. Did I get everybody? Oh, no. Where's she at? There's Dodo. Hello, Dodo.
Hello.
Oh, there is Sharon. Hey, Sharon. There's Flashman. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but maybe. What's up, old soul? Carmen's going to be still doing some things. She should have a gray shirt on to match my background. Absolutely.
No, because this room is so cold. That's why I put a long sleeve shirt on. I don't think I probably have one long sleeve gray shirt on.
I finally found a trial you've never heard of. Oh my gosh. How did I do it?
Took us 2 years, but we did it.
We did. All right, I gotta take my glasses off because they are really filthy. And my desk drawer always had my cleaner in there. I don't have it, and I didn't realize they were that dirty. But anyway, so the trial that we are going to start today is from 2003. So we are jumping a little bit forward in time. We are going to the state of Texas. The name of the defendant is Chante Mallard. This is called, like, Court TV calls it the hit and run trial. It's not. She is accused. Carmen, he says you have an echo. I don't hear it. What's up, Baker? Are your glasses like Gabby's mine? Because I've been busy and I apparently touched them all over the place and didn't realize it. I don't know. This trial, it's inspired so many TV episodes and movies. Really? I saw one. I saw one. Hey, Brandy, how are you? So anyway, so this is called a hit and run trial, but she is accused of hitting, because to me, a hit and run means you hit them and you left them. She is accused of not leaving them. So Chante Mallard is accused of driving on, I think, high on a substance. I don't know what. I don't believe there was alcohol involved, but I don't know that for 100%.
Ex-
Do what?
She's on ecstasy.
Oh, ecstasy. Oh, good. So she probably didn't even realize. So she's accused of driving. It's at night. She hits a homeless man and he goes through her windshield and he's stuck there and he's alive. And she drives home with him in her windshield, drives into her garage, parks her car, shuts the garage door, and goes inside. And this man is alive. So allegedly, she waits for him to pass away and calls. I don't know if that's her, if it was her boyfriend, a friend, whatever. He will testify against her. And then they do whatever they do with. I think his name was Greg. I think we have another.
I think it's Greg Biggs was the victim's name.
Yeah. So it's insane to me that somebody would think to. I mean, I get it. Like, you freaked out, but I mean, my gosh, you drive home. When you see pictures of her car, there is so much damage to it. Like, I don't know how she ever thought she was going to explain it away, because obviously her windshield is crashed and smashed. The top of her car is major damage. So I don't know. This is a crazy trial. I don't want to say I've been looking forward to it because that's gross, but I'm just very curious about it because I have not watched it. I don't know a lot about it. So I don't know. What'd you say? Excuse me, ma'am, that's not a deer. No, it is a pedestrian.
Well, the crazy thing is, she probably would have never even been in trouble if she just would have stopped and called 911.
Yeah, he would have survived had she have gotten him help.
Yeah, maybe. He was pretty beaten up.
Well, he would have at least had a chance instead
Yeah.
of sitting there. And probably horrendous pain, like awful pain. What's up, dog mom?
Oh, yeah, the way that he went through and then it was like face down and like he's stuck. I will say, obviously we'll get to it. We got a little bit. They're gonna show some pictures. They're blurred out. So that's good. But there is one where the camera accidentally catches the state's laptop and you can see. So they don't show it on the projector to people, but the state does accidentally catch his laptop and you can see exactly what is on.
Okay, we've been warned. Hello, Ronnie. Did I get everybody? I don't have my glasses on. I might let you be in charge of the comments. What'd you say? At first, it looked like she could buff it out. Fry. That'd be some major buffing.
Yeah, just gonna put some super glue here.
Have to have a lot of compound.
Yeah. Take it to a car detail shop and just be like, hey, can you buff this out?
Yeah, just
ma'am, there's a man through your windshield.
no, there's not.
No, there's not.
It's not. It's not. It's all fine. all fine. All right. So we're going to do opening statements. They're going to read the indictment off first, and then we're going to do opening statements. And we're going to actually do 4 parts tonight because they're really short. So you'll have to just give me a second and bear with me as we transition between parts of the next video. And then tomorrow will be a bit of a longer night. It will not be 5 or 6 hours. Carmen. I told her no more of those. It will not be 5 or 6 hours, but I will start. She will be with me, and then she will take over probably for the second half, just depending on time for me. So there you go. Now you know. And this is my Wednesday for dinner with my dad and my brother, but Carmen has graciously said that she will do the stream on Wednesday. So
6 hours.
Not 6 hours. I told her we were kind of have a schedule, and we are sticking to the schedule. Tomorrow we'll only need a 12-pack.
Exactly.
Carmen corrected me. She didn't correct me because it's still not going to be very long. I mean, it'll be fine. All right.
It's barely over an hour and a half total.
Baker says he had a case where a guy fell asleep and hit an old guy who died after going through the windscreen. He appealed. Baker, I'm assuming you were a juror, our ruling, and got 3 times the sentences we gave him. Oh my gosh. Oopsies. Also, windscreen, I think, is the windshield. I think.
Well, Baker's he's Dutch now, so.
Well, it's one of those weird Dutch words.
Yeah.
All right. I have no idea how this is going to go. I think the sound is loud. I've got it boosted, so if your ears bleed, please let me know and I will turn it down. Obviously, if I need turned up, I will do that as well. But we know how the audio goes with this. Oh, I have to remember how to hit play.
Versus Chante Mallard. What says stay?
Stay trigger, Your Honor.
What says fans?
We're ready, Your Honor.
And are you Chante Mallard?
Yes, sir.
Counsel for state, would you please read the indictment?
Sorry, Frank. It was just
2001, did then and there intentionally or knowingly commit or attempt to commit a felony, to wit, failure to stop and render aid, as prescribed in Texas Transportation Code, Section 550.021, which is captioned accident involving personal injury or death, and in the course of and in furtherance of the commission or attempt or in immediate flight from the commission or attempt, she committed or attempted to commit an act clearly dangerous to human life, to wit, transported Greg Biggs to her home when he was seriously injured and lodged in her car, or lodged in the windshield of her car, and she secreted him in her garage, which prevented him from receiving medical care, which caused the death of Greg Biggs. Paragraph 2. And it is further presented in to say court that the defendant in the county of Tarrant and state of aforesaid, on or about the 26th day of October 2001, did then and there intentionally or knowingly commit or attempt to commit a felony, to wit, kidnapping, and in the course of and in furtherance of the commission or attempt, or in immediate flight from the commission or attempt, she committed or attempted to commit an act clearly dangerous to human life, to wit, transported Greg Biggs to her home when he was seriously injured and lodged in her car, or lodged in the windshield of her car, and she secreted him in her garage, which prevented him from receiving medical care, which caused the death of Greg Biggs. Count 2. And it is further presented in to said court that the defendant in the county of Tarrant and state of aforesaid, on or about the 26th day of October 2001, did, knowing that an offense had been committed, alter and destroy and conceal a thing, to wit, her car's seat, by burning said car seat with intent to impair its verity or availability as evidence in a subsequent investigation of or official proceeding related to the offense. And it is further presented to the court that a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle, in the manner of its use or intended use, is capable of causing death or serious bodily injury, was used or exhibited during the commission of this offense or in immediate flight from this offense, and the defendant used or exhibited that deadly weapon against the peace and dignity of the state. Signed Criminal District Attorney Tim Curry, and also signed by Rebecca Lucas, the foreman of the grand jury.
Mallard, you've heard the reading of the indictment. Do you understand the nature of the charges pending against you in this indictment? And as to count one of the indictments, you may plead guilty or not guilty. Let the record reflect the defendant has pled not guilty. To count two of the indictments, you may plead guilty or not guilty.
Guilty.
Let the record reflect the defendant has pled guilty.
Your Honor, as to, let's make it clear on the record, the way she read the indictment, she read the deadly weapon finding, but certainly Ms. Mallard is not pleading true to any deadly weapon finding.
All right. Now, because you pled guilty to count two, there's certain things under the law that I now need to explain to you. You understand that you have the right to a jury trial on that issue of guilt or innocence, as well as the issue of punishment, do you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have to speak up a little bit so everybody can hear you. And after having consulted with your attorney, it's my information that you wish to waive your right to a jury trial on the issue of guilt or innocence as to count two and go to the jury strictly on the issue of punishment.
Yes, sir.
Now, you understand that I will, as part of the charge, tell the jury that you are guilty of the offense. In fact, I think you'll see the state and your own lawyer bring that up during the trial. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Likewise, this is a permanent and irrevocable decision on your part. That is, if the verdict comes out and you're not happy with the verdict, you can't undo it, and at that time, plead not guilty. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And counsel, are you satisfied, and in your opinion, is your client competent to stand trial at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had a chance and opportunity to visit with her? And are you confident that she understands the ramifications of this decision?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you understand that, counsel for the state, is there any plea bargaining at this time? If so, please disclose it.
No, Your Honor, not as to either count.
All right. And Ms. Mallard, you understand that this plea of guilty comes to the court without a recommendation by the district attorney's office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In other words, this isn't a plea of guilty in exchange for guaranteed probation or guaranteed number of years in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty without because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone held out any hope or pardon or promise of reward in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Has anyone threatened to harm you in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because of fear or persuasion?
No, sir.
Is your plea free and voluntary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, do you understand that this plea is not in response to any plea bargain agreement and has not been induced by any representation made by the district attorney's office and or any other person that sentence as to what the sentence might be? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you realize that upon your plea of guilty to count two, the jury will be informed that you're pleading guilty, and they'll be instructed by me to assess your punishment within the range provided by law, which I believe is from 2 to 10 years in the penitentiary and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you don't understand about what we've done thus far?
No, sir.
All right, the court's going to accept your plea of guilty to count two. Let the record reflect the defendant has been arraigned and has entered a plea of guilty outside the presence of the jury. Is there any other matters we need to take up before the jury is brought in?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, bring in the jury. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm confused.
So she pled not guilty to unaliving. She pled guilty to tampering with evidence.
Okay. Got it. Because I'm like, she just going to go straight to sentencing and this is that long of a sentencing trial? Because
No,
that didn't make sense to me.
that's why I was telling you the other day when I was watching this. It's confusing how they say it. So from my understanding, I could be completely wrong, but it was not guilty to the unaliving, guilty to tampering.
Got it. Okay, well. And I'm guilty of having a good time. Okay, then.
She was
I
having a real
didn't-
good time. She didn't even know where she was.
I did not see Johnny Cochran, but maybe. I'm glad she figured it out, but she's been working on it.
I
Oh,
know. He's the only one that listens to me anymore. You
wow.
don't listen to me. Gabby doesn't listen to me. My dog doesn't listen to me. It's just Baker.
Because she lives here with me, and
I was talking about my dog here. He don't listen to me either.
oh, well,
Fat Tony
Okay.
the squirrel doesn't listen to me anymore.
you have some problems.
I
What?
do.
All right. Let's go into openings, shall we? And get this show on the road.
When you come in, just have a seat. They're standing out of respect because you're now judges in this court. They stand for all judges who come in, but they don't get to sit down until you do. So they'd appreciate it if you just come in and have seats. So with that, would members of the jury please raise your right hand? You and each of you do solemnly swear or affirm that in the case of the state of Texas against the defendant, you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence, so help you God. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, by the oath you've just taken as jurors, you become officials of this court and active participants in the public administration of justice. Will the defendant please rise? Are you Chante Mallard?
Yes, sir.
Counsel for the state, would you please read the indictment?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is offense number 0837152D. Filed the state of Texas versus Chante Mallard for the offenses of tampering with the evidence and murder. In the name and by authority of the state of Texas, the grand jurors of Tarrant County, Texas, duly elected, tried, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire of offenses committed in Tarrant County and the state of Texas, upon their oaths, do present into the 396th District Court of State County that Chante Mallard, hereinafter called defendant, in the county of Tarrant and state aforesaid, on or about the 26th day of October 2001, did then and there intentionally or knowingly commit or attempt to commit a felony, to wit, failure to stop and render aid, as prescribed in Texas Transportation Code, Section 550.021, which is captioned accident involving personal injury or death. And in the course of and in furtherance of the commission or attempt to commit, or in immediate flight from the commission or attempt, she committed or attempted to commit an act clearly dangerous to human life, to wit, transported Greg Biggs to her home when he was seriously injured and lodged in her car, or lodged in the windshield of her car, and she secreted him in her garage, which prevented him from receiving medical care, which caused the death of Greg Biggs. Paragraph 2. And it is further presented in and to said court that the defendant in the county of Tarrant and state aforesaid, on or about the 26th day of October 2001, did then and there intentionally or knowingly commit or attempt to commit a felony, to wit, kidnapping, and in the course of and in furtherance of the commission or attempt, or in immediate flight from the commission or attempt, she committed or attempted to commit an act clearly dangerous to human life, to wit, transported Greg Biggs to her home when he was seriously injured and lodged in her car, or lodged in the windshield of her car, and she secreted him in her garage, which prevented him from receiving medical care, which caused the death of Greg Biggs. Count 2. And it is further presented in said court that the defendant in the county of Tarrant and state of Forsyth on or about the 26th day of October 2001 did, knowing that an offense had been committed, alter and destroy and conceal a thing, to wit, her car's seat, by burning said car seat with intent to impair its verity or availability as evidence in a subsequent investigation of or official proceeding related to the offense. And it is further presented to the court that a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle, that in the manner of its use or intended use was capable of causing death or serious bodily injury, was used or exhibited during the commission of this offense, or an immediate flight from this offense, and the defendant used or exhibited that deadly weapon against the peace and dignity of the state, signed Criminal District Attorney Tim Curry, and also signed by the foreman of the grand jury, Rebecca Lucas.
However, the deadly weapon issue is not an issue at this point.
No. Ms. Mallard, you've heard the reading of the indictment. To count 1, you may plead guilty or not guilty.
Not guilty.
Let the record reflect the defendant has pled not guilty. And to count 2, you may plead guilty or not guilty.
Guilty.
Let the record reflect the defendant has pled guilty. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is going to proceed in the following order. The state may make an opening statement outlining its case. The defense also has a right to make an opening statement, however, they need not do so. The opening statement is not evidence, but is merely an aid to you in generally understanding the nature of the case and the significance of evidence when it is introduced. After the opening statement, if any, the state will introduce evidence. Rebuttal evidence may also be introduced. At the conclusion of all the evidence, the attorneys will make their closing arguments to you. The law applicable in this case will be contained in the instructions I give you during the course of this trial, and it is your duty to follow all such instructions. It is your duty to determine the facts from the evidence and the reasonable inferences arising from such evidence, and in so doing, you must not indulge in guesswork or speculation. The evidence which you are to consider consists of the testimony of the witnesses and the exhibits admitted into evidence. The admission of evidence in court is governed by the rules of law. From time to time, it may be the duty of the attorneys to make objections, and my duty as judge to rule on those objections. You must not concern yourselves with those objections or the court's reasons for these rulings. You must not consider testimony or exhibits to which an objection was sustained or which has been ordered stricken. You must not be influenced in any degree by any personal feeling of sympathy for or prejudice against the state or the defendant in this case, for each is entitled to the same fair and impartial consideration. No statement or ruling or remark which I make during the presentation of testimony is intended to indicate my opinion as to what the facts are. You are to determine the facts. In this regard, you alone must decide upon the believability of the evidence and its weight and value. Counsel for the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Counsel for the defense, Richard Ross. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I want to tell you about a set of facts about a crime, almost the perfect crime. A body found in a park, lying on its back, partially clothed, looking as though it had been brutally beaten, but it wasn't. Obviously dead, but he didn't die there. The picture wasn't right, and the pieces didn't fit. The blood was in the wrong place. The body been dumped. And no one saw a thing. What you're going to hear, ladies and gentlemen, is how Chante Mallard, with the help of her friends, nearly got away with murder. Her best friend, Talisi Fry, who goes by T, you'll hear from her. Cleet Jackson, goes by Cleet or Boone, her sometimes love interest. And you'll hear from Tyrone Cleveland, his cousin. These 4 people, Chante, T, Cleet, and Tyrone, 4 people forever bound together by the events of one night. It was a Thursday night back in late October of 2001. Thursday night, the night most people started their weekend, and Chante Mallard and her best friend T were no different. They made plans to go out. It was 69-cent drink night at Joe's Big Bamboo in Arlington. And Chante and Cleet had made plans to hook up. So Chante got off of work from her job, where she worked as a certified nurse's assistant, a profession that she'd held since 1995. And she headed home. She headed home to her house at 3840 Wilbarger in Fort Worth, Texas. She headed home and she changed her clothing and she dressed to go out. And she left and she went to her best friend's apartment. And she took the route she'd taken time after time after time again, a route she was well familiar with. And she went to her best friend's apartment. And when she got there, they finished getting ready. They had a few drinks, they shared some ecstasy, and they split a joint. And this was the first time Miss Mallard had experienced with ecstasy. And what you'll hear is they drove to Joe's Big Bamboo. Miss Mallard drove, and she drove a 1997 gold Chevy Cavalier. They drove to Joe's Big Bamboo in Arlington, and they got there around midnight. And you'll hear what happened at Joe's. Miss Mallard danced, she drank, and she smoked some more pot. And she met up with Cleet, and she gave Cleet her keys. But at some point they separated. Cleet gave her keys to someone else and went home with another girl. And you'll hear that Chante and her best friend T closed the bar down, and that Cleet was already gone by 2 a.m. in the morning. And concerned about Miss Mallard, T drove Chante's car back to T's apartment. When they got to her apartment, Chante appeared to be better. And so Chante then began the journey back to her house on Wilbarger. She took the route as she'd taken many times before. And when she got to the point of 820 and 287 where they intersect, a man was walking somewhere on 287. And she hit him. And she struck him. And he came through the windshield partially. But he didn't die on impact. He was alive. And Ms. Mallard would later tell police that while she couldn't understand what he was trying to say to her, he moaned and he tried to speak. And you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, that she pulled over, not right where it happened, but in an industrial area. She pulled over and she tried to get him off the car. And when she couldn't rid him from the car, what you'll hear is that she would be faced with the first of many defining moments that night. Less than half a mile away, payphones, but she didn't go there. Less than half a mile away, 24-hour businesses, but she didn't stop there. What you'll hear is there were residences around there, but she didn't stop there. And this was an area she knew. Less than half a mile away was a fire station. And this is an area she knew because her brother had lived across the street from the fire station on Wilbarger for many years. And you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, that inside of that fire station are men that are not only trained to fight fires, but men that are trained to respond to emergency situations just like this one. Because every firefighter is also an emergency medical technician. And Ms. Mallard knew that because her brother was a lieutenant with the Fort Worth Fire Department. But she didn't go there. The police department, only a matter of miles away on Miller Street, but she didn't go there. John Peter Smith Hospital, a straight shot down 287, a hospital Ms. Mallard was familiar with, but she didn't go there. Instead, you will hear that she chose to drive home with Greg Biggs still lodged in her car, seriously wounded and bleeding, moaning when they hit a bump. And she drove home to her house at 3840 Wilbarger. And she drove in the garage. And she closed the garage door. And she turned off the car. And she apologized. And he moaned. And he tried to speak. And all she could do was cry and apologize, she told the police. She would tell the police later on that she went in the house and out of the house and in the house and out of the house and simply apologized to him. And that she had a phone at her house. And she finally did make a call. And it was a call for help. But the help wasn't for him. The help was for her. She called her best friend. And she whispered, "Come pick me up." And T, not really knowing what had happened, by now, nearing 4 o'clock, she got dressed, she got in her car, she headed over to Chante's house. And before she could even get inside the house, before she could even get out of the car, Chante was coming around the back of the house to jump in her car. She got in T's car and she said, "Drive." And she was visibly upset. And they drove to look for.
Ash, first, Sir Frank, this is 2003. So we are at least in the 2000s, left the 90s. She hit a homeless man and he hit her car and then went halfway through her windshield. And then she drove home with him in her windshield, and he didn't pass away from his injuries. And then she went home, parked her car in the garage.
He didn't pass away from the impact. He did pass away from injuries.
Yes, he did pass away from the injuries, not at that point. She drove home, parked her car in the garage, shut the garage door, and went inside and waited for him to then pass away from his injuries. And then what she said is they put him in the park to try to make it look like he had been beaten up and then unalived in the park.
Yeah, and I don't remember if they say, but it wasn't. His passing was not quick.
No, I don't think it was.
I
think it took a while.
I know I don't want to give too much away because I don't remember if they say it or not, but I believe the police report was 2 or 3 days.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long. Good grief.
It was a while.
That's horrible. She's lucky
Yeah.
she didn't get worse charges on her.
Right.
Because Texas has the unaliving penalty.
And they like to use it.
Yes, they do. What's up, Puddletown? Thanks.
Um,
I had to match Carmen's background,
Yeah.
which was a complete accident.
It was real quick, just because YouTube does get a little mad. What Baker had call it E if you guys are gonna stay in the chat, because when it comes to things like that, if you type the word out, YouTube Daddy tends to get a little upset, and it can get the channel and the video taken down.
What was she doing while she waited for him to pass? What?
Well, I don't know if you caught it. I didn't catch it. Her brother is a lieutenant at the fire department,
Oh, good grief.
and she passed it. Right.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's just, I knew it took him a while, but I didn't know it took days.
Yeah, from what I've read, is
Right.
it took like 2 or 3 days.
Gabby.
I'm not answering that question.
There's a case where I lived where a government worker dragged an elderly lady under her car for 3 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is. I don't either. Somebody in here will, though. She claims she didn't see the woman. Well, did you feel her? Like, good grief.
It's not quite 2 miles. Still
That
a long
would
ways.
be,
but not
Carmen, that
quite
would
2
be
miles.
like pulling off the highway and then I think getting to where you probably turn on my road.
Yeah, that would be. Gabby, just clarify. Yes, E equals the substance that she took, but YouTube gets a little mad if you spell it out or if you say it.
Yeah, she could have driven there and said the dude jumped in front of her car. Would have been a lie, but who would have known? Yeah, and then that the only thing she would get in trouble for is the fact she was on something and had alcohol in her system, I assume. So she would have gotten in trouble, but maybe, I don't know.
She would have gotten in
claimed-
trouble, but not that big of trouble.
Oh my. She claimed she thought that old woman was a speed bump. She didn't defrost her windshield. It was winter. Guess what? She was not jailed and only lost her job. Wow.
Wow. Frank says our justice system is broken. No, Frank, Canada's justice system is broken.
That's what Ash said. And Bri, you're moving to Houston?
Are you
Yeah,
really?
I was told not to feel anybody that I didn't know. Yeah, you'd think you'd feel the speed bumps. They are. It's sad.
Yeah.
She could have said he was breaking into her car through the windshield.
Just walking down the road, all of a sudden, give me your money through the windshield. We're not going to try the door. We're going to go through the windshield.
She can't blame it on liquor or substances. She must have been sober at some point over a 3-day period. 100%. 2 years when you retire. Awesome. You and Carmen will have to meet up. Also, everything in Texas wants to unalive you. Carmen, you are absolutely right. That is exactly what happened to that poor man. That's why she's getting the charge of tampering with evidence. She should get more than that. 1.8 miles is 3 kilometers, but also be 31 football fields in length. The more you know. Ding, 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 ding. You're
Ding,
welcome.
ding. The more you know.
Calling a person evidence. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Texas has barbecue.
Yeah,
Not
we
so
do.
bad. And it also, barbecue wants to unalive you. That's what I heard. It's a rumor.
As long as you get it first, we'll cook it up.
Yeah, it's just a rumor. I heard one day when a
Oh.
storm was going through and wanted to unalive you there. But
It's
anyway,
fine.
it's fine. Did she say lick? What?
Lick her.
Oh,
I
lick
don't-
her. I don't even know. On that note.
I can. That's you.
Ms. Mallard's other boyfriend. They went to the apartment that they shared in another part of Fort Worth. They went to a family member's house looking for him, and they couldn't find him. They drove and they drove. And somewhere along the way, Ms. Mallard told T what she'd done. And T turned around and she headed back to her house. And she walked in the garage and she saw the broken windshield. And when she looked in the car, she saw his broken legs. And she turned to Chante and she said, call 911. And Chante refused because she didn't want her parents to learn what she'd done and she didn't want to go to jail. And T wanted no part of that. So she headed to her car. And she didn't call 911 either. She headed to her car. And Chante jumped in the car too, and they headed to T's apartment. And when they got there, they went to bed. But sleep didn't come real easy. And a few hours later, Chante left in T's car with her cell phone. T's cell phone. And she went in search of She called and she looked for him, but she couldn't find him. But finally she did. And she picked him up and they then told a firefighter just getting off duty, Todd Breedlove. And he went immediately in search of the body. And when he found it, he called Fort Worth Homicide. Police were baffled by what they saw. They began to check nearby scenes, accident scenes, looking for any clue, any sign of what had happened to Mr. Biggs. But they ran into a wall of silence built by Ms. Mallard and her friends and her associates. No one was talking. It was a wall of silence. And you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, that Dr. Nizam Pirwani, a forensic pathologist and the chief medical examiner of Tarrant County for many, many years, performed Greg Biggs' autopsy, and several things were important to him. One, Mr. Biggs had multiple fractures in his body, but the only life-threatening injury he had was below his knee, where his leg had almost been severed. He looked inside his body. No injury to the brain, no injury to the heart, no injury to the lungs, no injury to the internal organs. Greg Biggs died of hemorrhagic shock. He bled to death. And what you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, is that Dr. Pirwani noted that the pooling of the blood was in the wrong place. If Greg Biggs had died lying on his back as he was found, the blood would be on his back at the lowest point of gravity. But the reddish purple color apparent on Greg Biggs' face told another story. Greg Biggs died face down. And what you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, is that the police continued to look. And in the meantime, the file on the circumstances of the death of Greg Biggs went into the desk drawer of Detective Don Owens under lock and key. And meanwhile, less than 10 minutes away from the Fort Worth Police Department, the missing piece of evidence sat in a house on the water in a garage that was locked, waiting to be found. Days became weeks, and weeks became months. And before anyone knew, October had turned into February of the following year. And it was almost 4 months to the day that Greg Biggs was killed when the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office received a phone call. A phone call from a young woman by the name of Miranda Daniels, a friend of this defendant, who had learned of the last moments of Greg Biggs. And so disturbed by what she had learned, she confided in her mother. And her mother said, "You do the right thing, as hard as it is." So she called the Sheriff's Department. And within 5 days, the Fort Worth Police Department would execute a search warrant on this address. And what they would find would be the 97 gold Chevy Cavalier, still holding the remnants of Greg Biggs' hair and blood on the roof lining at the visor. Blood in the car, blood on the car, blood on the ground, all coming back to Greg Biggs. And what you'll also hear is from a criminal analyst by the name of Max Courtney, an expert in blood spatter. And he'll tell you that he saw the car. And he'll tell you what the blood told him. And you will see as much as this courtroom will physically allow you to see of the car itself. What you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, is the police continued to look and began to interview her friends. But her friends knew nothing. At least that's what the police thought. Because unbeknownst to the police, after Ms. Mallard was arrested for failing to stop and render aid, she met with T at her house on Little Barker. And they discussed what Ms. Mallard had told the police in her statement. They discussed what Ms. Mallard was going to say, or what the story was going to be. And you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, that T said the only thing she knew was that Ms. Mallard had been in an accident. She lied to the police, and she perjured herself before 2 grand juries. And it wasn't until we received 2 kinds of records, her cell phone records and her employment records. And T knew we had irrefutable evidence that she was covering up. Covering for herself and covering for her friend. And what you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, is that once she realized that, she cooperated with the police and with the district attorney's office. And that without her cooperation, without her testimony, the 2 men who helped Ms. Mallard would never have been identified, nor would they have been prosecuted. And you will hear, ladies and gentlemen, that Ms. Fry received full immunity for her cooperation in this case, and in exchange for her testimony against Ms. Mallard. And you will also hear that in exchange for their testimony, Clete Jackson and Tyrone Cleveland pled guilty and were sentenced to the penitentiary. Clete Jackson received 10 years in the penitentiary. Tyrone Cleveland received 9 years in the penitentiary for their role in helping Chante Mallard conceal the evidence of her crime. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear from a captain of the fire department and the leading physician at John Peter Smith Hospital and Emergency Services. And they're going to tell you what they would have done to give Greg Biggs a chance. And they will tell you that Greg Biggs, at the age of 37 and in good health, should still be alive. And they will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that when Miss Mallard transported Greg Biggs home in her car, seriously wounded and bleeding, and shut the door to the garage, that she guaranteed his death. And finally, you'll hear from Brandon Biggs. And Brandon Biggs will tell you about his dad. And he'll tell you that Greg Biggs didn't have much in this life. And he didn't even have a home. But what he did have was a son who loved him. And a son that knew no matter what, he could always reach his father. At the conclusion of all the evidence, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask that you find Chante Mallard guilty of the offense of murder for the death of Greg Biggs. And we are confident that you will arrive at a just verdict. Thank you.
Counsel, for defense, do you wish to make an opening statement at this time? You may begin.
It was dark, and to many, it became the darkest night of all. And it was late. It was real late. 2 or 3 in the morning, when the night starts to get quiet. And she was in an altered state. Her mind was challenged with alcohol, marijuana, and a drug called ecstasy. When suddenly, a 200-pound body with sound and combination of sound and terror comes crashing through the windshield of her car. Suddenly, and with words that no one could possibly even describe, a body is there. Glass is shattering. Slivers of glass are flying. Glass is flying into her face, into her hair, into her car, into her skin. No one can describe that feeling. And then all of a sudden, the quiet of the night turns into the roar of a wind tunnel, and air is flying through the window of this car. Deafening at first, certainly scary second, strange, unusual, confusing. What happens then is this car is traveling at 40 miles an hour, 60 feet per second, but time stands still. Time stands still. She is within seconds. She now is one exit from her home. Within seconds, she's less than 2 miles from her home. And next to her is a body. Closer than I am to Brenda. A body entirely inside her car. Upside down, head in the floorboard, bottom end up, legs going in directions that no one thought was humanly possible. You can't imagine. You can't imagine. There's no question that she went straight to her house. There's no question she went to her house. There's no question when she got to her house, no one was there. She was alone. There's no question that when she got to her house, she closed the garage door. There's no question about that. You know what happened? She starts crying hysterically. She's sitting there crying hysterically, and she's telling this body in her car, I'm sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean to hit you. I didn't mean to hit you. I didn't mean to hurt you. She's crying out, God, what do I do? Lord, what do I do? And she's crying hysterically.
And I'm pretty sure God didn't answer and say, go inside and do nothing for days. Yeah, pretty sure that's not what happened. I know she gets a defense. I'm the first one to say everybody gets a defense. I have no problem with the defense. But come up with something. Don't you're welcome, Michael. Green chili chicken. That's a fun name. Don't act like she was just like, she's all freaked out. What do I do? Go to the hospital that you passed? Go to the fire station that you passed? Call that family member who works for the fire department? Call the police. Everything that you didn't do is the things that you should have done. Everything that you did do are the things that you should not have done.
Yep.
Yes, Gabby, his for some reason, your oh no, guys, he's a whistle top every time he whistles. He's a whistler every time he says the letter S. I heard it. I heard it after I read that. Thanks.
Oh, I didn't. Now I'm gonna think of him as a guy of family. Come down in the basement and get some popsicles if you want.
Has reached a verdict in the trial that I am prosecuting. Well, good luck, dog mom.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck.
We're going to need a mannequin to see if she's injured. Hey, if we get one, then we'll have our song back. But I can't make a song. Because when I was telling you guys earlier, I can't make a song for this trial. Unless we get something like the mannequins. I cannot make a song about a man getting hit and left in a windshield. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, you two would be like, no.
Y'all would be like, no. I would be like, no.
I don't know. I like dark humor. I probably think it was funny.
Yeah, but I can't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't sleep at night.
No one can tell you what that would be like. She's crying hysterically. She goes back into her house. She dissolves on the floor of her kitchen into a heap and cries hysterically, and goes back out and says, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I'm scared, I don't know what to do. And she's crying hysterically. And finally, she picks up the phone and calls T. And T gets over to that house. And T didn't come right away. But you know what T's going to tell you? T's going to tell you that phone call wasn't just a whisper. T's going to tell you that when she called, that she was frantic, that she was hysterical. She was begging T to come get her. And when T got there, she comes running out of her house, and T will tell you that she was absolutely hysterical, and it scared T. She was so hysterical. And she got in the car and she was babbling T will tell you she was babbling, "Lord, I'm sorry. What do I do? Lord, I'm sorry. It was an accident. What do I do?" And that's what she's saying the moment she gets into T's car. And T will tell you that she remained hysterical and crying and babbling the whole time she was in that car. And T was over to this house. She was back over there within less than an hour of the accident. And when they go, all Chante wants to do is try to find Terrence, her former boyfriend that she hadn't been with for a month and a half, didn't know where he was, and frantically is looking for someone to help, because T will tell you she is saying, "I do not know what to do." And they drive, but they don't know where Terrence is. They can't find Terrence. They don't even know where Terrence lives. And she is trying to call Cleet Jackson, and we're going to talk about him in a minute, but she's trying to call Cleet Jackson, and she calls and pages over and over again using T's cell phone because Chante didn't have a cell phone. And she's calling, and she's hysterical, and she remains hysterical, and they go back to the house. But what T's also going to tell you is when T got back to the house, she didn't call 911 either. And the reason she didn't is she looked at what was in the garage, and she was convinced that the man was dead. And I don't think there's going to be any question from the evidence that he was by that period of time. And they continue to look, and Chante remains hysterical, and then they go back to T's apartment. And she continues to look for help. And she continues to say, "I didn't know what to do." Finally, the person she had been calling and paging shows up, Cleet Jackson. And she meets Cleet Jackson at a different location from T's house. She drives there, and Cleet Jackson will tell you when she gets there, she is hysterical. And he is going, "What is wrong with her?" She is completely out of it. And he will tell you that when he saw her, that she was in such bad shape that it scared him. And you're going to see Cleet Jackson, and you're going to know what it would take to scare Cleet Jackson. But she was in such a condition that it scared him so much that he took his cell phone and called a friend, because Cleet Jackson knew that Chante was so messed up on ecstasy, he was scared. He was scared. And you'll hear in a minute about him seeing her the night before. But he was so scared, he calls a friend and said, "I have got a crazed woman on my hands who's out of control, and I want you to know." That's how scared Cleet Jackson was. And Cleet gets her, and she can't tell him what's wrong, and she continues to be hysterical. She continues to cry, and for a long period of time can't even describe to Cleet what had happened. That's how messed up she was. And he thought it was some kind of serious drug reaction. And the next thing they do, go to the house, and she tells Cleet what happened as best she could in that hysterical state. And he, at that time, will tell you that she was hysterical. But they go back to T's house, and what T's going to tell you is somebody took charge. And that somebody wasn't Chante, it was Cleet Jackson. Cleet Jackson took charge immediately. And Cleet Jackson is the one that said, "I know what to do." And Cleet Jackson is the one who said to Chante and to T, "I will take care of this." And Cleet Jackson is the one that called his cousin Tyrone. Cleet Jackson is the one that arranged for the car. Cleet Jackson is the one that made the plan. Cleet Jackson is the one who decided where to take the body. And Cleet Jackson is the one that told everyone, "No one here will ever say another word about this. I'm taking care of it." And T didn't call the police. Chante didn't call the police. Cleet Jackson didn't call the police, and Tyrone didn't. within an hour and a half to 2 hours of this accident, and it was an accident, but within that time period, Gregory Biggs was dead. And at the time, Chante and T were back at that house. And because he was dead, the state tells you that that amounts to murder. I'm telling you, that's not murder. That was just the end of the first part of this nightmare. And that's what this was. It was a nightmare. But after that point, the second part of the nightmare starts, and that's the part.
That's not what?
Is
What does he
for real right
what does he consider that then? The nightmare? I'm sorry. Who had the worst nightmare? Her or the guy stuck in her windshield?
for days?
I mean, come on. Wow.
Yeah, it's like what Tink just said. Excuse me, sir, that was not a nightmare. You're right. That's reality.
It
That's
was,
something
yeah.
you're not going to wake up from and it just goes away.
I get, I know some of these defense attorneys don't have one, so they have to just do the best that they can with what they have, which is nothing. But come on,
Don't say something stupid
yeah,
like that.
like also, he does sound like a smoke alarm, but the batteries
Because-
are low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Old soul, that's
Wow.
right. Like I can't. I can't wrap my head around that one. Like this was hard enough to listen to, but then it's like it was just a nightmare for her. Poor her, poor her, poor her. That's all I've heard. Poor her, poor her. She was so distraught. She was so upset. She was so whatever.
Yeah,
Not
what about
oh,
his
I'm so
nightmare?
sorry. I'm so sorry. I left you hanging in my windshield for days.
Yeah, what about his nightmare with him being stuck and mangled, and on top of that, with his head down?
Yeah.
That just ugh. People.
Nope.
This is why I
Sorry,
don't
Flash
people.
man. Yeah, there's lots of reasons I don't people. I do not miss Mr. Early. Nope. That's
Oh,
not
see.
happening.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think I have to keep my hands up because if not, I'm gonna flip this desk over.
Please don't do
And-
that.
Everybody's gonna see everything go flying. I get it.
Oh, old soul, can you? I mean, none of us can even imagine. Imagine the worst pain you've been in, and then probably multiply that, by 100, and then you have to just sit there. You can't ever get away from it.
And I don't know if you guys saw earlier when I responded to AT1. She was a nursing assistant. She knows what to do. And she still didn't do it.
Yeah,
Like,
everything is so wrong with this. Yes, totally understand. Boris Yeltsin. Yes, that is who he kind of looks like. Good one. The youngins won't know. I'm getting real teary-eyed for this poor lady. She must have suffered for days. Yep, good Lord. Yeah. Yep. Oy vey.
Would be. Just because I don't know if it was said earlier, you might have said it in your description. I just don't remember. So she was 25 when this happened, and Greg Biggs was only 37.
I don't think maybe I did have their ages in there.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if you did, but I just wanted to bring light to the victim. He was only 37.
Yep. It's insane. It's crazy. All right. Well, let's no, you're not a boomer. You're vintage. Thank you. Back to whatever this is.
About Fleet Jackson taking over. Within 18 to 20 hours of the accident, Clete Jackson had made arrangements, and Chante was with them, and he and Tyrone, and they took the body to the park. Within 18 to 20 hours, the whole second phase of this was over with. That's how long it took. And Clete will tell you that almost that entire time that Chante was totally messed up on ecstasy. Now, how did we get to that point? The prosecutor's right. It was about 10 or 11 o'clock when Chante goes to T's house. It was. And T bought an ecstasy pill, or one or two, it's really unclear, but bought ecstasy from somebody she knew. And this person that was there put ecstasy in Chante's mouth. And she took it. She'd taken it once before. It was the second time. And she took it, and T took it, and she was smoking marijuana, and she was drinking, and they went to this club. And when they got to this club, I want to tell you what happened, because we're now flashing back 24 hours earlier. And when we got to this club, what happened is Chante was messed up because of this ecstasy. And T will tell you that she was fine and she was just floating, but Chante was way more messed up than T. And saw Clete Jackson at this club, and Clete Jackson will tell you that Chante was so messed up that he went and confronted T. And he said, T, what have you given her? She is completely messed up. What have you given her? And T tells Clete Jackson, I gave her ecstasy. And Clete confronts her, and he scolds her, and he tells her, don't ever do that. Look what you've done to her. And it was obvious to Clete Jackson, someone who knew Chante, that she was completely messed up to the point he would confront the person that got her into that condition. And he did that. And she was so messed up at the club that when they left, it was clear to everyone that T had to drive. She was incapable of driving. So T drove Chante's car from the club back to T's apartment. But then T gets out of the car and Chante drives on by herself. And that's when this accident happened. What you're going to hear, though, is that when the police finally discovered this, they came to Chante's house 4 months later. 14 police officers show up, half in uniform, half not. They go to her front door and walk in the door, and she doesn't say, what are you here for? What are you talking about? She starts crying. And she says to the officers, they don't even ask her. She says to the officers, I'm sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it, I'm sorry. And she then becomes extremely upset, and she is crying, and they have her put some clothes on, and they take her downtown to take a statement off of her. And they take her down with Detective Owings, who is a 27-year police veteran, a trained interrogator, a detective in the police department, and they take her down, and in the car with Detective Owings and Chante, a female officer, Officer Johnson, rides with them. And when they get down to the police department, Officer Johnson is there with them, but Owings takes her into his office and closes the door with no one else in there. Detective Owings takes Chante in this crying, upset, extremely upset state into a room, closes the door, and tells the female officer to wait outside. And then spends 31 minutes talking to Chante. And there's a window in that office, an interior window where you could see into it, but the door was closed and you could not hear what was going on. And Detective Johnson had nothing else to do. She could have sat in there and heard what was said, heard what Owings says to Chante, what Chante says to Owings, but no. She has to sit outside and sit in the hall. And for 31 minutes, Owings talks to Chante with no one else present. And during that 31-minute period of time, he doesn't take one note. He doesn't write one thing down. He doesn't reduce to writing or capture in any form what was said during that 31-minute gap. Doesn't do it. And he didn't even take a tape recorder and record what was said during that 31-minute gap. There is no way to capture that. But after 31 minutes, Detective John Owings then starts typing on a computer his version of what Chante supposedly said during that 31 minutes when no one was there. And that's the statement that you're going to see from Chante. That's how it was created. Yeah, it was dark. And to many people, it was the darkest night of all. And it was late. After an hour and a half or 2 hours, it was way too late. And she was hysterical, terrorized, and confused. Thank you.
Counsel for state, you can call your first witness.
Your Honor, before the state called its first witness, we have presently 4 stipulations we'd like to tender to the court that have been signed by both sides to help speed up the process today.
All right.
Stipulation number 2, Martha States 99, for identification purposes. State will tender 99 to the court for the record only. No objection, Your Honor. Stipulation number 3, signed by both sides, marked for identification purposes, it states 11. We tender that to the court for the record only. Stipulation, Your Honor. Stipulation number 4, marked for identification purposes, it states 12, signed by both sides. We tender that as well for the record only. No objection, Your Honor. And states agreed stipulation 5, marked as States Exhibit 100. We tender that for the record only as well, Your Honor. No objection, Your Honor.
The first witness is on the next video, right?
All right.
Yeah, you don't need to.
States exhibits 99, 11, 12, and 100 will be admitted for the record.
And with that, Your Honor, the state of Texas would call firefighter Todd Breedlove to the stand.
All right, we have to switch videos. So just because I'm curious, they're saying like she was obviously had ingested alcohol. She had ingested E. She had ingested Mary Jane. Obviously, the effects of alcohol are going to wear off by the morning, other than you just might feel bad. How long does, and I know it'd be different for every person, how long does that last? Typically in somebody's system to be, because they can't really use it as an excuse. Oh, good, we get closed captionings. That she was, and that doesn't make you hallucinate, right?
Well, it can. Depends how much you take. But
I don't know anything about it.
3 to 6 hours, but it also depends on the person's metabolism.
Okay, well, not 3 days.
No. But I will say, just because I'll grift away. I'll be worse than Dan. Good old AJ here is needing a new computer, so all super chat, super stickers, memberships, all of that stuff does go to that fund. I know last week you guys did amazing on it,
Yes,
and
you
we
guys
really,
did. Thank
really
you so much.
appreciate it. So anytime you guys want to, any little amount counts, like whether it's big, small, whatever, anything counts. and it's really, really helpful because she does not have she's using a laptop right now. So, and it doesn't have the capabilities that it needs to continue streaming and to grow the channel. So anytime you guys want to drop those in the chat, we will be more than thankful for it.
But that doesn't have anything to do with being old. I just have not done that. So I don't know.
I just want to go ahead and say it. I haven't either. I've dealt with people that are on it, but I have not personally done that myself.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was trying to just judge when she got back into her quote unquote right mind.
I mean, I would say, trying to think of the last person I dealt with on that. It probably took them like 8 hours or so, like total. But I also think they had probably taken something else. Like when they were arrested and they came in, probably about 8 hours before they even realized where they were.
Okay. So still not 3 days.
No. Yeah, definitely not 3 days. Like I've had people come into the jail before that spend an entire weekend there and wake up and have no idea where they are. But yeah, definitely not 3 days for this particular thing.
There is no worries about that, Brandon. Zero worries about anybody ever seeing me in the club. So,
I don't
because
even know
am.
what I would do. I think I would just turn around and be like, I'm going home.
Depends what kind of mood you're in. You might high five me, then go home.
Yeah, I probably would. Like I wouldn't leave just because that can get a little rowdy in the club. I don't know what I would do.
Think you're right. Does she have a right mind after doing what she did, being a nurse? She was a nurse's assistant. Not that that makes it better, but yeah.
But also, if she was with her friends, at the club or whatever, there is no way in the world, because I've been through this with my friends. When they're messed up, you're giving me your car keys. You're not gonna drive, because I'm not gonna have you go hurt yourself, and I'm not gonna have you go hurt somebody else. Like I will get you where you need to be, but you're not driving.
Flash fan? You're grounded. I do not know what you did in Sydney, Australia for 72 hours by chance, AT1. I'm not asking. Because now I'm scared. And so back now with the DD. Yes. And they didn't let her drive away from the bar. She went to a friend's house. And then they let her drive away from there.
Yeah, that's.
Can't you tell I missed you? I think so. Oh my gosh, I keep bumping everything. It's driving me crazy. I don't have any of my stuff.
Pink said, flatbed, no more chicken for you.
That's right. Come back
No
when
more chicken.
I'll quote part of a Seinfeld episode. I'm not that too good for that. That's some scary shit, that whisper from attorney. It is, Sharon, and it hurts my ears, so I'm happy to take a break from him. AT1. Well, this is better we both forget it. Fine. Well, old soul, there are some friends who would love to go retrieve those keys if you're gonna put them there.
I mean, there was a time that I was out with a couple friends. And one was, it was actually supposed to be the DD and ended up not. Like when I looked over and I saw that they were drinking, I stopped drinking because no. And they actually got tore up from the floor up. And to get them to quit, I had to knock them out. And I felt really bad. And
not
the
very
bouncer
nice.
looked, well, it was that or they were going to jail. And I looked at the bouncer and I was like, they're okay. Like, I got it.
promise.
And he literally, he's like, well, it was either you knock him out or I knock him out. I'm like, no, I
Oh.
got it.
Gotta love a college town. All right, so we've got about 10 minutes of this, or I think it says 10 minutes.
No,
Of
your
this-
next one is 31.
Oh, that's what I get for not having my glasses on. 30 minutes of him. This is firefighter. I don't know.
So this will
Is
be
he
the
the
firefighter that was the technical like first responder that was he was actually off duty. But I don't remember if he drove by or somebody called him or how he got wrapped up into this. But yeah, he's firefighter, was actually off duty. So he'll go through all of that stuff.
Okay. All righty. Well, let me know if I need to adjust because this is a different video. And it does have closed captioning, so let's do it.
You'll have a seat right there. Print your name on the pad. Pull the microphone up close
On
so
the
everybody can
pad.
hear you. The rule's been invoked. You may not remain in the courtroom. You're not to converse with each other or any other person about this case except by permission of the court. You're not to read any report of or comment upon the testimony in this case while under the rule. Counselor, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Todd Breedlove,
By the looks of your shirt, you look like you're employed by a fire department. Which one?
Fort Worth Fire Department,
And how long have you been with the City of Fort Worth Fire Department?
13 years,
What rank do you currently hold?
engineer.
Now, there's lots of engineers in the world. What's an engineer do with the City of Fort Worth Fire Department?
We're responsible for the truck and all related equipment.
Are you the guy that drives the truck?
That's correct.
What's it take to become a firefighter with the City of Fort Worth?
Pass a battery of tests and 6 months worth of training in the academy.
Do you also, as part of that training, get any medical training?
Yes, we do.
Could you briefly tell the jury a little bit about that?
We go through 6 weeks of emergency medical technician school, CPR, first responder, basic trauma type training.
Is it an abbreviation for the phrase emergency medical technician?
Yes, EMT.
Are you an EMT?
Yes.
About the operations side of this, of the Fort Worth Fire Department, do all of them have to be certified EMTs at least?
Yes.
What's operations?
Operations is the functional part of the fire department that actually mitigates incidents within the city.
If I could direct your attention back to October 2001, where were you stationed at back then?
Station number 4,
Where's that physically located, sir?
2954 Old Mansfield Road.
Is that the city of Fort Worth?
Yes, it is.
County of Tarrant?
Yes.
State of Texas?
Yes.
Were you working a shift that started on Friday, the 26th of October?
Yes.
Explain to the jury what a shift is with the fire department.
The 4th Fire Department has 3 shifts, A, B, and C. We work 24 on, 48 off. And I was currently assigned to C shift at Station 4 at that time. So that Friday, I reported to work at 7 a.m. And that morning, Saturday morning, I was relieved at 7 a.m.
Did you go right home at 7 Saturday morning?
No.
What did you do?
I normally strength train the morning I get off of work.
Is that lifting weights?
Partially, do a pull-up bar and some other things. I have bad shoulders.
How long did it take you to do your strength training?
1 hour.
Did anything happen as you were finishing your strength training?
As I was leaving the fire station, we normally lock the gate when no one's there. The engine was out, putting up smoke detectors. And so I was the only one there. As I exited the parking lot, I got out and I was locking the gate. And two older African-American gentlemen drove by and stopped and said that there was someone down at the park and that they thought he was dead and asked me to look.
Which park?
Cobb Park.
In relationship to the station you're at, Station 4, where's Cobb Park?
Cobb Park is about half a mile north from the station.
What did you do after? Well, let me ask you this. When they pulled up, what type of vehicle were they driving?
A mid-'80s white Ford pickup truck.
How were they acting when they pulled up?
They were anxious. A bit out of sorts, it seemed.
What did you do next?
I finished locking the gate and got into my vehicle and drove to the park.
How long did it take you to get to the park?
Probably a minute, not very long.
When you got to the park, did you make any observations?
Yes.
Please tell the jury what you saw.
As I passed by the park, there was a white male down in the park.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, he was down and obviously, to my level of training, deceased.
Did you do anything at that point?
Yes, I pulled into the park and dialed 911 on my cell. And as I was talking on the cell phone, I investigated the body pulse. The body was cold to the touch. There was no pulse. He was not breathing. And there was obvious deformity, obviously, of the deceased victim.
Thanks, Frank. A small contribution for a poster to brighten AJ's wall. I know it's very bare behind me right now, because I'm not supposed to be sitting right here. But I will tell you guys a story at the end when we get done, because you guys will love. Well, maybe you won't. You might. My week was
Is it about me?
No, it's about how my week
then-
went.
Oh, then tell away.
I will tell it at the end. But yeah, the week I had last week when I was not here was really interesting in lots of ways. Such a mess.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Breedlove, I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes as states 117 through 126. Could you take a second to look at those? We're going to be looking at 117 through 138. All right. Mr. Breedlove, with respect to 117 through 126, are they a fair and accurate depiction of what they appear to report, that being Cobb Park as it stands today?
Yes.
To show you states 127 through 138 and ask you to flip through those. All right, Mr. Breedlove, with respect to 127 through 138, are those again a true and accurate depiction of how the park looks today?
Yes.
Would states 117 through 138 aid you in your testimony here today to describe the park and how you came into it? Would 117 through 138 aid you in your testimony here today before this jury?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would tender to defense counsel states 117 through 138.
117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129.
And 130. Sorry, my StreamYard's acting up because freaking StreamYard keeps updating, and every time they do, I buffer. Peltown, thank you for your super chat.
So I
took
need
it down.
to,
I couldn't get to it. Do you need to what?
do I need to pull it up?
No, I can get it. I just couldn't get it. I pulled it up and then I couldn't get it because everything was going crazy in StreamYard. But Peltown, Geezer Louise and Chicken Gizzards. This case is more effed up than Hillbilly Family Reunion. I wouldn't know.
I would. I live in Texas. So you're all right.
Lies, all lies, Zach. You know it. So many lies. Damn, imagine typing on that computer. I check those computers out, and kudos to anyone that can use them. The little computer that I'm not from the South, from the Midwest. I'm from the actual Midwest, not where I live now that thinks it's Midwest. Thank you, old soul. I appreciate it. $10 super chat with a computer. Gabby, thank you for the sticker. It's this, and I still got it right. I did not do the shocker. Even though I'm out of practice. Oh, the court reporter one? Or I've missed it. I'll have to look, Ash.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's super, super small. Like, I wouldn't want to type on that thing.
You think I'm trying to do Puddletown? That's my secret. You weren't supposed to tell. I'm trying to be a good girl now.
Your secret's safe with us
Sure.
until it's broadcasted and across YouTube. And it might not be.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Oh, hold on one second. This one will have it where they are going to show the placement, but they do blur out Mr. Biggs' body. Just so you guys know.
So that won't be any different than TV.
Yeah.
Not like Betty Broderick.
Yeah, no, this isn't the one where it's the next one where you can see it on the state's laptop.
Okay. All righty. Let's roll with the counting on.
And 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, and 138 will be admitted.
Can I continue now?
You may.
Mr. Breedlove, you've had a chance downstairs in our office on the third floor here to look at these images in the computer, correct?
Yes.
And you've had a chance to look at all those exhibits as they're put into a QuickTime program, correct?
Yes.
Would that also aid you in your testimony here today before the jury?
Yes, it would.
Does that make it look easier with the way the pictures are combined for the jury's benefit?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time the statement tendered to defense counsel states 139 and 140, which we provided them in advance.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. State's exhibits 139 and 140 will be admitted.
Your Honor, I've loaded 139 and 140 on one of the laptops in advance. With permission, we'd like to publish one of those to the jury at this point.
You may.
Mr. Breedlove, I'm going to ask you, so look like you just grimaced for a second. You hurt?
Yes.
What'd you do?
I hurt my knee Friday
How'd you hurt your knee?
on a stairwell at a structure fire.
What happened?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained.
All right, Mr. Breedlove, let's go through this. Take the jury through this with the laser pointer you have in your hand. And show us where you came in at.
Could we fan to the left a little more? Yeah, right there. I entered the park at that corner and traveled northbound around that curve and continued north in that direction. I hadn't seen the body by the time I'd reached the first entranceway, so I continued on in a northerly direction. And about the time I reached that tree there, I saw the body, so I continued on to the second entrance, which is right there. You really can't see it real well for the tree. And so I made a right turn and went back into the park and stopped right about there, which is, I stopped there to make the 911 call and to investigate.
In looking at states 140 on the screen, can you take the laser pointer and show the jury approximately where you saw the deceased body? Is it dead?
I think it's operator error. I've got it now. I found the body approximately right.
Right there.
Or right there by that pylon.
In fact, you had an opportunity to meet with myself and one of my investigators out there prior to trial, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated to us where to mark the pylon where you saw the deceased body of Mr. Biggs.
Yes.
And we marked that with orange paint that's shown there on states 140, correct?
Correct.
You called 911. Bob. Folks, witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Did you tell them where you were on the 911 tape?
Yes.
Tell them what happened?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as states 90. Have you had a chance to listen to states 90?
Yes to most of it.
How do you know you listened to states 90?
We listened to it a couple of days ago.
Did you put any markings on the tape?
Yes, I initialed it with the date.
All right, and you see those on states 90 today?
Yes, I do.
Does it appear to be an accurate recording of what you told 911 that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would tender to defense counsel states 90 and move for its admission into court for all purposes.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit 90, you'll be admitted.
May it be published as well, Your Honor.
May.
This is Janice at IDK 6394 with the Police Department Communications Division. The following recording will be in regard to service number 01800304 on 10/27 of 2001 at 2800 Cobb Park Drive. The call received by position 14, staffed by F. Wesley, ID K810. Starting time is 10:05.0 hours.
What's 911 for K810? How can I help you?
Concrete Love, off-duty fireman, leaving the fire hall, and at 2800 Cobb Park Drive, off in the park, we have a body here. White male has been beaten, and I'm heading that way now to check to see if he has a pulse.
Okay, let me go ahead and transfer you to Med Star 2. Hold on. Where do you need us?
Hi, he's on Cobb Park Drive in the park.
Where specifically in the park?
It's like 2800. There's a parking lot here. And we have a man that's definitely been beaten.
Or what's your cross street?
Cross street is Glen Garden.
Glen Garden and Cobb Park Drive. Let me find my
Yeah.
Are you just someone driving through there?
I'm an off-duty fireman. I went to station 4, leaving the station. Some guys said, hey, there's a guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
is he alive?
No.
He's 12?
He is brutally.
Dee, are you on the line? Yes, ma'am. Okay. This is gonna be, you're gonna be just south of Barry, is that right? Barry Street?
Yeah, just south of Barry.
Because I found Glen Garden and Cobb Park Drive, but they kind of, I'm trying to find exactly where you are in the park.
Okay, he is a definite DOS.
He is?
Yes.
And you're from Station 4?
Yes.
Are you paramedic?
No.
EMT, okay.
But he is cold, he's got rigor. His body's contorted. He is gone.
Okay.
No doubt.
What other cross streets other than Glen Garden do you know? Blackwell or North?
287.
287?
There's like one way in, one way out. You got 287 and you have Glen Garden. I'm here at the park. I'm in a blue Camry.
Okay, hold on just a second.
If you just hit Cobb Park Drive, you'll run into it.
I know, but Cobb Park Drive in Masco goes. That's the problem. I found Glen Garden.
Go away to like Allen.
I found Allen. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
I'm funding the southern end of Cobb Park Drive.
The southern end of Cobb Park Drive, because the southern end puts you down at Barry and Mitchell. And you're telling me you're up over by Maddox and Allen, right?
No. I'm closer to Barry. I'm closer to Station 4.
Okay.
It's in between Barry and Glen Garden.
I found Barry and I found Glen Garden.
It's actually between Glen Garden and 287.
Between Glen Garden and 287.
Right.
Okay, so on that Cobb Park. And are you right there by the Masonic home?
Nowhere near the Masonic home.
Okay, then we're in the wrong Cobb Park in Glen Garden. Hold on just a second. Are you closer to Allen and Maddox?
I hate to leave it.
I know.
Let me go make sure it's not Cobb Park West.
Okay, it's probably going to be Cobb Park West.
Why don't you print that up real quick because I don't want to leave it
Okay,
right here.
77 Romeo is more accurate. It's off Cobb Park Drive West, trying to. Okay, it's going to be there.
It's Cobb Park West.
It's going to have to be because if you're crossing 287.
287 and Glen Garden Drive, yeah.
I think Glen Garden there. But you're on Cobb Park Drive West, right? But what side of 287 are you on?
I'm on the south side.
The south side. Okay, we're going to come to 287 and Cobb Park Drive West, and you're in a blue Camry, right?
Yes.
Hold on just a second. I want to go west. Do you know about how old he appears?
30-ish.
South side of 37. Blue Camry. Off-duty fireman on scene. I was signal 12. Okay. PD, give me your cell phone number, sir.
Okay, 687.
Go ahead.
980-4236.
4236. Okay, and what's your name?
Todd Breedlove.
Todd, okay. I'm going to put that in the comments. And we're on the way. PD, your questions for him?
No, that's it.
Thanks. Are y'all en route then? PD?
I have the call set up. I don't know if it's been just.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
End of call time 10:10.11 hours. End of recording, end of tape.
And first witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Mr. Breedlove, it appears MedStar's operator had a hard time finding this, correct? Correct. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes is State's Exhibit 38. You've also, in advance of trial, had an opportunity to view State's 38.
Yes.
Does it appear to be a true and accurate depiction of the area we're talking about today?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would tender to defense counsel State's 38 move for a submission to the court.
Here, just take him on board briefly.
You may.
Mr. Breedlove, can you show me on here where the park is and where the road is? The road where I found the body? Yeah.
I'm just trying to get oriented, just what I'm looking at.
The blue dot.
Okay,
Right
that's over
there.
here.
That's correct.
And then is that F? Is that the fire station?
Yes, that's station number 4.
Your Honor, we have no objection. Well,
All right.
Your Honor, hang on. Have you ever been, you see this mark right in the bottom right corner? It says 3840 Wilbarger.
I see it.
Are you familiar with that area? Is that where 3840 Wilbarger ought to be?
I believe so.
Your Honor, we have no objection.
All right, the state's exhibit number 38 will be admitted.
You want to have the witness step down?
He may.
Mr. Breedlove, when you're down here, you need to speak up because the other judge, Brenda's taking out everything we're saying, okay? If you come over here for us. On states 38, can you show the members of this jury, and if you would stand right over here, you can block me, but try not to block them. Show them where your fire station is on this map. Station number 4 is right there. You speak up. Station number 4 is right there. And show the jury the route you took to go to Cobb Park that day.
I left station 4. I took a left out of the station and headed north. And then I took a right on Cobb Park Drive, 2800, and I continued north and past this first entrance, hit the second entrance anyway, went to the body.
Scoot down here and show the other half of the jury so they can see as well. Would you please point to the areas that you just described for the first part again for us?
This is station 4. I pulled out the Old Mansfield Road and took a left, went north until I hit Cobb Park Drive, took a right on Cobb Park Drive, drove that until I hit the second entrance, and I turned right into the entrance and went to the body. Thank you.
Ronnie, this is the first witness. This is a firefighter that found Mr. Biggs. The only thing you missed was the defense opening, which would have just made you angry. So no, he did not. It was ridiculous. I mean, just basically every excuse in the book for her and how she was feeling and all the things she was going through, and nothing that he did or that she did to help the victim. So, but yeah, we're just getting through this first witness here. And you're welcome. Gotta hit play, or we don't.
On the 911 tape, you were telling the operator that you went and checked for a pulse. Can you describe what you did again? To clear that up for me, how do you go about checking a pulse?
I checked for the left carotid pulse, and you use 2 fingers and check for the pulse.
Is that part of your EMT training?
Yes.
Are there ABCs to the EMT training?
Yes, there are.
What are the ABCs?
Airway, breathing, and circulation.
And is that what you were doing when you got out of your vehicle when you approached the body?
Yes.
Approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Breedlove, I'm going to show you what's been marked as states 101, 102, 103, 104, and 105. I ask you to take a second and look through those photos for me, please. Counsel approach.
Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we go on and take a mid-morning break? So go back to the jury room, please. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Counsel for the state, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the state would tender to the defense counsel states 101 through 105 and move to their admission for all purposes.
Now we have our previously stated objections.
All right, which have been overruled. States exhibits 101, 102, 103, 104, and 105 will be admitted.
And we would request again our writing objection as previously read.
Your objection is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may those exhibits be published via the projector?
Let me change that to your objection is granted, however, you're overruled. You can have a running objection, but that objection's overruled.
May they be published, Your Honor?
They may.
Mr. Breedlove, can you tell us what's here in states 101?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Can you tell us what you saw here that's depicted in states 101?
Yes, that is the,
You can speak into the microphone, please.
yes, that's the victim that I found at Cobb Park.
And can you take the laser and show the members of the jury where you parked your Camry?
The first time that I pulled in to the parking lot, I parked right over there.
Is this the way the body was when you found it?
Yes.
States 102. In states 102, it's on the screen now, Mr. Breedlove, did you make any observations with respect to the area around the body that you could show the jury or illustrate with the laser here in 102?
Yes, after I checked for airway breathing and circulation, I noticed there were drag marks in the dirt, where I thought someone had put the body down and drug it over to that point. There was also some lividity on the face and on the top of, on the anterior part of his abdomen.
Mr. Breedlove, for those that may not know, what's lividity?
Lividity is pooling of the blood after you die. It's where gravity draws the blood to.
Based on your training as an EMT, with the lividity on the front part of his body, what did you conclude at that point?
That he would have been in a face down position when he died, and not on his back, as shown here.
States 103, is that a view looking back to where we saw those QuickTime images from before?
Yes.
Can you take the laser and show the members of the jury where that swing set was that was in the panogram images?
I believe the swing sets were over here in this area, right there.
States Exhibit 104. In States 104, there appears to be a gray box added on top of the exhibit. Is that correct, Mr. Breedlove?
Yes.
Can you explain to the members of the jury what's covered for the on-screen purposes?
The victim's genitalia.
Did he appear to have any pants on when you observed him in the park?
No.
Can you take the laser and show the members of the jury what you described earlier is the lividity you saw in the front part of his body?
The discoloration, purple bluish discoloration in the face and along the thigh area and his abdomen right there.
And again on 105, can you show the members of the jury the lividity that you saw there?
wounds. Again, on the face and the abdominal area and along the thigh area.
You know, 105, can you show the jury where you observed the drag marks, since this is a closer photo of the early ones?
The drag marks right along there in the dirt.
Thank you, Mr. Breedlove. You know, we passed the witness.
Mr. Breedlove, did you say you'd been with the Fort Worth Fire Department 13 years?
Yes.
Fair to say you've responded to thousands of emergency situations?
Yes.
And obviously, if you know what lividity is, you've had to respond to situations where there were dead bodies before.
That's correct.
Now, this day, you said you'd just finished a 24-hour shift, 7 to 7, right?
That's correct.
And that's your normal schedule?
Yes.
And you're used to working that schedule?
Yes.
And had you been able to get any sleep the night before?
I don't recall.
In any event, when you got off at 7, you'd gotten up and worked out.
Yes.
And you certainly weren't drunk.
Negative.
And certainly hadn't taken any controlled substances.
Negative.
Hadn't smoked any marijuana.
No.
In fact, if you did that, you wouldn't be a firefighter very long, would you?
That's correct.
And when the two older African-American gentlemen came up, you said that they were out of sorts.
That's correct.
Seemed a bit anxious.
That's correct.
Did you take it from their demeanor? They don't see things like this very often?
That's correct.
Pass the witness, Sean.
Grant, we have no more questions. We ask that this witness be excused to go about his way.
No objection.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Counsel for the state, you may call your next witness.
We call Fort Worth Police Officer Brad Patterson.
That guy looked like he wanted to get down off the stand and go whip some
Run?
ass.
Yeah.
Like he was just over it.
Now, I feel bad for him. You could tell that he was, and I've been there. Like, I've been in his shoes when you're reliving that moment, and it sucks. And to see that, I mean, it's not a pretty thing to see. Like when somebody's red liquid pools that way, and it's just not good to see.
No, I
But
don't imagine
I
that
will
it is.
say, good for him to be, I mean, damn near being spot on with when he was able to say the age, because this is a couple of days later. Right? You know, you got decomposition and he's mangled and all that other stuff. Good for him for using his training and experience to almost hit it spot on. 7 minutes in is where it's going to show the state's laptop.
Because I think this witness is only 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
11 minutes.
Yep. Your next two are roughly 10, 11 minutes.
Okay. I do too. They aren't trying to see that. That firefighter didn't act like he probably had seen a lot of it.
No, I have to pee. So I'll be
Well,
right back.
have a good time. And thanks for
I'm
letting
sorry.
us
What the
all
mod?
know.
I have to go use the mod room. I'm just going to tell you I have to pee.
I had to switch the background to purple, so we matched. The black and gold background just wasn't doing it. I could. Ugh. Was a first responder to attempted self-unaliving still bothers me to this day over 20 years now. I can't imagine. but at least they weren't successful. All right, let me hit play on this and let's go.
You raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm testimony about to give and cause now pending before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right. If you'll have a seat right there, pull the microphone up close so everybody can hear you, and if you'll print your name on that pad there. Rules been invoked. You may not remain in the courtroom. You're not to converse with each other or any other person about this case except by permission of the court. You're not to read any report of or comment upon the testimony in this case while under the rule. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Officer D.R. Patterson, Fort Worth Police Department.
How long have you been with the Fort Worth Police Department, sir?
Be 27 years in September, I think.
What type of education do you have, sir, to become a police officer?
I've got an AS in law enforcement from Tarrant County Junior College, a Bachelor of Science from TCU, a Master's in Criminology and Criminal Justice Administration from University of Texas at Arlington. I've gone to several training schools and seminars across the country.
Are you also a certified Texas peace officer?
Yes, sir.
What is your current duty post inside the City of Fort Worth Police Department?
Crime scene search.
How long have you been with crime scene search?
Since 1982.
Directing your attention back to October of 2001, specifically October 27th, a Saturday morning, did you have occasion to be dispatched to Cobb Park?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
Can you please describe to the members of this jury the nature of the call and what you did once you got there?
Patrol units called, they found a body in Cobb Park that appeared was deceased and appeared to have been hit by a vehicle.
Did you arrive on scene?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you recall what time you arrived?
10:30 in the morning on Saturday morning.
Were there any additional officers besides patrol officers there from the City of Fort Worth?
One of our homicide officers came to the scene and the medical examiner's office came to the scene.
For the jury's benefit, can you take us through how this scene was processed?
I took photographs of the area showing the park and the area around where the body was found, and then closer up photographs of the body as it was found when we found it that day from walking around, just kind of trying to show you 360 degrees around the area.
Did you make any observations of the deceased that morning with respect to his clothing items?
Yes, sir, I did.
What caught your attention, sir?
His shoes and socks were missing. His clothes were torn. He was wearing a sports coat, shirt, pants, underwear. His shoes and socks were missing, which indicated to me that it was a vehicle had run into him, probably knocking his shoes off.
Did you make any efforts, either yourself or the homicide detective and the folks that were out there from Fort Worth, to canvass the area around Cobb Park to see if you saw an accident site?
Yes, sir, we did. And we told patrol units about it to see if they could find shoes in roadways or loose shoes, and as well as blood in roadways in the area on the east side of Fort Worth and around. We searched the park area, and we did find a little impact area just south of where we located the body that looked like a vehicle had run off the roadway and hit a tree and an embankment. I photographed and collected some evidence in that area, but then it was determined that it was probably not related to the victim in this offense.
Besides the fact that he was missing his socks and shoes, what led you to believe that he hadn't been just struck right there where you found him at Cobb Park?
Well, he was kind of folded up into a position that indicated to me he had been placed in a vehicle and dropped there. There was no blood on the scene, and there was no evidence of anything on the scene related to where this might have happened. And it was pretty obvious to all of us that he was deposited there where he could be found.
Were you on scene when the medical examiner investigator arrived?
Yes, sir, I was.
And did they take possession of the body?
Yes, sir, they did.
Who was the homicide detective that was dispatched that day?
Mike Carroll.
And did you and Detective Carroll work hand in hand to process the scene as best you could that day?
Yes, sir.
Approach the witness, Your Honor. Mr. Patterson, I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes is 7, 8, and 106. Give me a second to look at those.
Yes, sir.
Are those photographs that you took that day in Cobb Park?
Yes, sir, they are.
Do they fairly and accurately depict the body of Mr. Biggs in the park that day?
Yes, sir, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would tender to defense states 7, states 8, states 106.
They're just different.
Your Honor, we'll renew our previously stated objections. And in addition, we'll object on grounds that they're cumulative, repetitious of evidence that's already been admitted.
All right. Overruled. And
May we have a running objection on those grounds also, Your Honor?
you may have a running objection. States exhibits 6, 7, and 106 will be admitted.
106, 7, and 8.
I'm sorry. States exhibits 7, 8, and 106.
You can see where the numbering had to be redone, Judge. With your permission, Judge, we'd like to publish that on the projector.
You may.
Okay.
Officer Patterson, directing your attention to states 7. Can you tell the jury what's depicted in state 7?
It's one of the victim's hands.
Can you identify which hand it is?
Probably, I guess, the left hand.
Would you need to see more of your photos to determine which hand it was?
That thing is mangled.
Officer Patterson, I've put on the screen now states 101 that's been previously admitted for all purposes. Can you show the jury the hand that's depicted in state 7 in states 101?
It's right about in this area.
Does it appear to be his left hand then in state 7?
Yes, sir.
Can you comment on the fixed position of the hand, whether or not it was fixed based on your observations?
Yes, sir.
What were your observations?
Well, it was bloody and mangled a bit.
When someone passes away, when rigor mortis sets in, do body parts tend to stay in a fixed position as to where they were when they died?
Objection, Your Honor. I don't think he's qualified to give an opinion about that.
Would you like to take this witness on board hour?
Your Honor, they haven't proved up any qualifications at all.
Overruled.
May we have a running objection?
You may.
There's some lividity in the hand, and I'm not sure what the question.
Did the hand appear to be stuck in a position such as depicted in state 7?
Yes, sir.
When the medical examiner came to remove Mr. Biggs's remains, were you there and present?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to make any observations whether his body appeared stiff when they were removing his remains?
Yes, sir, it was stiff.
In states 106, Can you show the jury what you were talking about with respect to lividity, if any, in States 106, Mr. Patterson?
Well, I'll let the medical examiner testify on that.
Did he appear to have blood about his face?
Yes, sir.
Did he appear also to have some dirt on his face?
Yes, sir.
And there appears to be some leaves in the lower left-hand corner on some of his fabric. Did he appear that he had been there for at least some time prior to you arriving?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Judge, I do have one more for him. The location of this body, is that in the city of Fort Worth?
Yes, sir, it is.
County of Tarrant?
Yes, sir.
State of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor. Subject to recall.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Counsel for the
That wasn't awful, Carmen. It was his hand.
Well, hold on. Before we get to
colored.
that, AT1, I do want to say, like, that is, for whatever reason, my chat didn't go through. I'm glad that they lived and, you know, were able to get help and thank you. I mean, that's a true blessing. I feel for you on that one. One of my very, very first ones that I ever had to deal with was the first county jail that I ever worked for. I had actually stayed late, so our dispatch center and our jail were connected. The dispatcher during the day, he had told all of us bye, and it was a little weird because he hugged every single one of us. And then I was helping doing the jail stuff, but also helping dispatch out because there was a lot of calls that night. And we got a call from his wife, and I will never get out of my head her screaming the way that she was. They had went out to dinner, had a bonfire, she had went to bed, and he put a 45 in his mouth. And that stuff is rough, and I'm really glad that yours had a happy ending. I need, in my own personal life, I need to hear stories like that have a good ending to them, because I see a lot of negative. So thank you for sharing that. That actually means a lot.
Now I don't know what to say.
Yeah, sorry. I just made that really depressing.
That's
I had to
okay.
I had to mute myself for a second because I choked up for just a moment.
You're fine. If you didn't, I would wonder what was wrong with you.
Yeah.
That wasn't the story I thought you were going to tell. I hate to say that you have more of those, but
I have more than I would ever like to. So this is going to be video 4, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this should be Sheila Daniels is going to take the stand. If you guys remember in the very, very first video, it's the mother of Miranda Daniels, who I believe Chante called. Don't quote me on that. I could be getting, it's either a really close friend or that's who she called. I think it's who she called.
all righty. Let's do it. This will be our last video, and we get closed captionings again. So I have no idea why they do some and don't do others. It's kind of annoying because I just want them all to have closed captioning.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear a firm testimony about to give the cause now pending before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
If you'll come up here and have a seat. If you pull that microphone up close so everybody can hear you, and if you'll print your name on that pad there.
I do want you guys to joke. Like, I know you guys are saying I'm not going to joke anymore. It honestly, it helps lighten the mood because this is a really heavy trial. And so don't say I'm not going to joke anymore. We like when you guys do because it makes us smile and it makes things not so heavy. It's not that we're disrespecting the victims. It's not we're disrespecting the trial or anything. But yes, exactly. Humor is good for the soul, even dark humor. So please don't stop joking. You can go ahead.
Okay.
Counselor, you may continue.
Your Honor. Ms. Daniel, would you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
My name is Sheila Daniel.
Where do you work, Ms. Daniel?
I work for Motherall Printing in Fort Worth.
How many years have you worked there?
I've been at Motherall for 1 year.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have any children?
I have 3.
And can you tell the members of the jury what their names are and how old they are?
My oldest is Miranda. She's 23. I have a daughter named Robbie that's 21 and a son, Cody, who's 17.
I want to take you back to February of 2002. Did you have a conversation with your oldest child, Miranda?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Can you tell the members of the jury where you were when you first spoke with her?
I was at Wild West Mailer at the time. She called on my cell phone. She said that she wanted to talk to me about something, and I was on my way home from work.
Ms. Daniel, I'm not going to ask you what she specifically said to you, but I want you to tell the members of the jury what her demeanor was like.
After she heard my voice, she started to cry.
Was she upset?
Yes.
What did you say to her in response to what she was telling you?
I told her that she needed to come to the house and talk about it and tell me exactly what was going on, and that after we had discussed it, I told her she should go to the police.
So you told her to meet you at the house. Was she living with you at the time?
She was living at her grandmother's next door.
And so did she come to the house?
Yes, she did.
And did y'all talk about what she had told you?
Yes, we did.
And what did you tell her to do?
I told her she couldn't live with that. I couldn't live with knowing that, and that she needed to go to the police.
Do you know whether or not she did contact the police?
Yes, I do. She did.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Daniel, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit Number 9. Have you had an opportunity to listen to the contents of State's Exhibit Number 9?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
And is that your daughter's voice on State's Exhibit Number 9?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Your Honor, this time the State would offer State's Exhibit Number 9 into evidence.
No objection. All right, State's Exhibit Number 9 will be admitted.
May I publish by claim, Your Honor?
You may.
Terry County Sheriff's Department, may I help you? Okay, what is this in reference to? There was a crime that was committed, but I know who did it. I want to see it. Okay.
I think her daughter is Miranda, and she was telling Miranda, who knows, if I understood it right, I think her daughter's Miranda, who knows the defendant. Her daughter told her, and she was telling her, like, she wasn't gonna, the woman on the stand, like, she wasn't gonna live with that on her conscience and not tell anybody, and she didn't want her daughter to live with that either. And did she tell the defendant she needed to?
I think so.
Like, they needed to tell, basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, she'll get into the bullshit reason, or sorry, bullcrap reason.
Don't apologize to me. You're an adult.
why Miranda is not there herself. I'm sure it's a hard thing, but think about how Mr. Biggs' family is feeling right now.
Yeah. It does get old being like, it's too hard. No,
Yeah.
life is hard. Like you have to do hard things. And sometimes majority of the time, the right thing is the hard thing. So
Yep.
I don't, though that excuse does not go very far with me of, I just can't. Well, no, you just won't. There's a difference.
Exactly. There's a huge difference between I can't do something and I won't do something.
Right.
But
So.
yeah, I believe, I think so, Old Soul, but I'm not 100% sure.
Tell me a little bit more about this. Not that long ago, there was an article on the paper that like a man was down in College Park. So was a hit and run. And my best friend told the one that did it. And I know she did it. She was saying I talked about it yesterday. She told her long story. It happened at Cobb Park in Fort Worth. It was in Fort Worth, but it didn't happen there. She was driving down 287 going north, like right through the Ranch Creek exit. And she said she was like jumped and how it was on ecstasy. And there was a man walking on the side of the road. I don't know if he was like a homeless guy or something like that, but he was just walking on the side of the road. And she hit him with her car. And then she drove her car with him still on the car. Like she lives like on Miller, not that far from George Creek, like maybe a couple of blocks. And she drove her car home and drove it into their house and parked it in the garage. And the man was like crying that he was still alive, she said. And that she was like fucked up and she was scared. But she didn't ever call anybody. And she left him like there in the car. And he died. And then she called her boyfriend. And they went and dumped the body. And the car is like still there in the garage. With like the blood and all kind of stuff on it. They're getting ready to burn. Where does she live, ma'am? Where does she live? On Miller, right off of Miller. Off of Miller Avenue in Fort Worth? Yes, ma'am. Okay, but this happened in Tarrant County? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and you said it was Village Creek? Village Creek exit in 287 North, where she hit the man at. When did this happen? It's been, I guess, about a month ago or so. I remember reading about it in the paper. That they found the man's body in Cobb Park that it was like the hit man and his legs were broken. Did they found him then? What did she do? I mean, she took the body and dumped it or what? Her boyfriend, they took the body and dumped the body in Cobb Park because the man had died. He was alive when she first hit him. But she drove the car home and parked in her garage and called her boyfriend. And the man like died like a few hours later in the car. He was still like in the car. Oh, that's, you mean in the front or? Yeah, like on the front. It came through the windshield a little bit. Okay, and you said it was about a month ago? Yeah, it was probably about a month ago. And that was 287 and Village? 287 Village Creek is where she originally hit the man, yes, ma'am. But the only information that the paper had said was that they had found the body of a white male, such as age, in Cobb Park. Okay, I get you. And we were all at my friend's house yesterday, sitting around talking. And everybody was just talking. Okay, what's your friend's name? The friend's house that I was at? Her name was Felicity. But the girl that did it or whatever, her name is Kay. K-K-Y? C-A-Y-E. C-A-Y-E? I'm not sure what her last name is, but I can find out though. Okay. And is there a number that we can reach you at? I could have one of our investigators call you. It's 817. 478. 6106. 817-478-6106. And your name? Miranda.
Did you want to give your last name? Daniel, I mean, like, I don't mind talking to the investigation stuff, but as far as like when it actually comes out nothing, I prefer to remain anonymous. Okay, all right, that'll be fine. And what's your last name? Daniel. D-A-N-I-E-L? Okay. And is this your home phone? Okay, like I said, they were talking about burning the car, but I know that the car is still like it is in the garage outside myself. So it's still in the garage? Yeah, it's not in the garage. Of course, they got the garage. Right. All the evidence from the, So they're thinking of burning it? Right. Okay, what is the address on Miller? I'm not sure exactly, but you can show them. Oh, can you find out? I can probably find out what the address is. I can tell you. Okay. All right, let me get an investigator to call you, okay? Bye-bye.
Ms. Daniel, my intent is not to embarrass you with the next set of questions, but I want you to tell the jury, has your daughter had her share of problems with the law?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
Would you tell the members of the jury what her problems
Yeah,
are?
that's not relevant at all. We object to the relevance of that. There's absolutely no relevance, and we object.
I'll withdraw the question then, Judge. Ms. Daniel, where is your daughter today?
She's at my house.
And did something recently happen to her?
Again, that's not relevant either.
Sustained his ass.
Would it be easy or difficult for her to testify today?
Difficult.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Daniel, you heard your daughter's voice on this tape? Is that the degree of upset that you said she was when she was talking to this police officer as same as when she was talking to you?
No, sir.
It was different?
Yes.
And she didn't sound as upset on this tape. Is that what you're telling me?
I think that her voice was shaky on the tape, but she was crying hysterically when I spoke with her.
And then did she claim a $2,500 reward for turning this in?
No, sir, she did not.
She did not. And do you know whether she offered to give half of it to T?
No, sir, she did not.
That's all.
Nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
All right, we'll step down. Counsel for the state, you may call your next witness.
So I don't know if y'all heard it in the chat. She said, my best friend is the one who did it. And I know that she did it.
Yeah, so that was her daughter. I was like, did the judge sustain the objection because he wanted to know what was wrong with her daughter? It's kind of like, well, I'd kind of like to know. So
I want to know what's happening. What's up, brother from the same mother?
Yeah. Wondered where you were going with that. All right,
Yeah,
so
too
that
much alike.
that's what we have for this evening. Tomorrow, like I said, will be a longer stream. And I think Carmen and I did a little bit of compromising because she's probably, I don't know, she may end it in the stream. I might have to go to bed. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, but anyway, I was going to tell you guys, just you might think this is just stupid and not even fair.
Let's lighten the mood. Tell us your week.
So last week we weren't doing like some major remodel or anything like that. Basically, what had happened is the job that well, we can take that banner off. It's bugging me. Good heavens, you put a lot of banners in there. That my husband does. He works with a lot of contractors, so HVAC and this one he has a flooring contractor that he works with. And so it's been about a year ago. The guy that owns the store we've been here for 2.5 hours, Brandon. I can't help that you're late. He called my husband up one morning and said, "Hey, like he got a master roll of carpet in, but it had a defect in the middle of it, so he couldn't sell it. And he asked us if we wanted it for free because he couldn't sell it." Well, free was right words for us, so I was like, "Sure." So that's what, and we had not, because my husband and my son have been very busy with stuff at my son's house. We have not had a chance to get even our stuff ready. So basically, I think it was on a Friday. My husband's like, "Carpet's coming on Tuesday." Or not Friday, on a Wednesday, whatever day I had Carmen help. And so I spent a week ago Sunday walking everything I could from where I'm at now down to the basement where I will be. And Sunday night, my husband and I ate dinner, and I'm sitting there. He's done. I'm cleaning up or finishing up, whatever. He went to go finish up because the heavy stuff was left, and he said, "I hear this thud," and I was like, "Okay." So I just sat there for a second, like, "What the heck?" And then what happened? Oh, so then I get up because I hear this like thud, thud, like coming down the stairs, and I get to the bottom of the stairs just in time to see a credenza. It's on a two-wheel dolly, go sliding out like a movie. It's like the timing of it. It just goes sliding out. It's just like lands right in front of me. And I look up the stairs because my husband's not with it. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yes." What Carmen just showed, the wall. The wall was not okay. So the wall got added to. That is the that was the wall on the stairs. That was the major damage. But I'm like, if you would have just told me it was coming down the stairs, I would have just opened the front door and it could have just went on out the front door. But so that was just kind of like one of those things where it was funny because nobody was hurt. And then my son sends the response of, I would have taken a ride on the credenza, like the credenza express or something down the stairs. And I was like dying. And he said, "I would have came over and helped you." And I said, "No, like, I'm glad you weren't here to help because you would have been in front of it." And I see. And you couldn't have stopped it had it got away from your dad or if it gotten away from you. Your dad couldn't have stopped it. The thing is heavy. And in his younger days, it would have ended up in the front yard with a chainsaw to it and on fire. So
Well, I was gonna show the group chat, but it has last names and stuff in there, so I'm not gonna do that. But my brother goes, "I'll ride the Credenza Express." And my mom goes, "If I would have known it was coming down the stairs with that, I just would have opened the front door and let it roll out."
So that was that
I'm just,
that
and then you said, "I'm just glad no one was in front of it."
so that was kind of like the excitement of Sunday. So what day did we get the carpet? Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. So Tuesday, we're sitting there and we're waiting for the installers to arrive. And I see this van, our driveway is really long, and I see this van coming down the driveway. And I looked at my husband and I was like, "The A-Team's here," because their van was painted like the A-Team TV show from the 80s. And he's looking at me like, just ridiculous. So this one, I don't know if they're together. I don't care. So this couple gets out. They're installing the carpet. And a couple hours later, my husband gets a text message. He started laughing. We have a retired state trooper that is friends of ours, and he was out mowing his lawn. And he sends my husband a text message and was like, "Hey, there's a van backed up to your house with the back doors open. It looks like the A-Team." I told you. So, but anyway, I know it's probably not as funny to you guys, but it was a very just weird week for me. I was going on about 2.5 hours of sleep on Monday into Tuesday because my dog could not do. We'd taken all the carpet off of the stairs, and then he was scared of the stairs. So he would not go down the stairs. So he woke me up about 1:45 in the morning, and I had not even gone to sleep till about 11. Had to take him down the stairs, and I wasn't even going to attempt to take him back up the stairs. And so I slept downstairs. So I was just out, like, when I told you guys, like, I think it was 7 o'clock my time, I was like, I'm going to bed to Carmen. And she tells all you guys, my mom's going to bed. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, that's how we knew we could be rowdy in the chat. I'm like, hey, the
Oh,
owner
my
of
dog.
the owner of the channel is going to bed, so say whatever you want.
Yeah, no, my dog is a huge chicken. So anyway, so we get this carpet, and it's, like I said, it's free and it's really nice. So we have 2 Great Danes and a German Shepherd in our house, and this carpet is like white. So nothing we have ever picked out on our own, but my room that my husband had worked on when I started streaming almost 2 years ago is now finished because we were trying to figure out what kind of flooring to put down there. And then do you remember last spring when I told you, like, it was raining outside, and I'm like, I heard it raining inside. It was raining, and the pipe something had happened in that room. So we were kind of worried about even putting anything in there. I didn't even know that I wanted to move down there, but it is done. That is, like, everything is done. I've heard my husband come back up out of the basement. So I think my desk is put together. So tomorrow I should be down there. I may not have any background up yet, Puddletown, that it won't be this color. But I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. You got to give me time to get it done. So it was a weird week. But
Hey, we were just over here having fun.
You guys were just Carmen, you and Gabby were just doing great. I'm like, I'm just turning the channel over to you. It's fine.
Nope.
It's all fine. Like, and you're like,
no. I didn't say I would let it attack you. I said I wouldn't run from it. There's a difference. Frank says, I'm not gay, but I do love Great Danes. Hey, I am. And I also love Great Danes.
Raining inside is bad. Yeah, it was pouring rain outside. And so it was just a clogged pipe from, I don't know, a tree root had grown through it. It was whatever. But I just remember, like, I started some laundry and then I heard it. I'm like, why is that? I know that sound is hitting cement. It's water hitting cement. I should not hear that inside my house. And I didn't even go downstairs to see how bad it was coming. I didn't need to. I just got to the top of the stairs. I'm like, okay. So I just turned my washer off and that fixed it. And then my husband fixed the rest of it and it's fine. But
she took a different type of meaning to it's raining men. No, it's literally raining in your house.
It was a terrible sound to hear. It's awful.
I think I would just leave. Like, if I heard that, I'd be like, you know what? I'm out. I'm leaving you.
Gabby, I mean, if I ever get the labias to actually go on stream and talk by myself, I would help you, but my labials are small right now. Well, maybe they'll grow up one day.
Yeah. We'll pump them up. That's
Thank
weird.
you.
Please edit that.
Yes,
part
please
out.
don't pump them up. That's weird.
Please edit that part out.
I will not. That would have been okay if it wasn't in my basement.
Oh, but
I always read that. Frank, I don't even know what your voice sounds like, but I'm just like, Googling.
I told you, he has a very, very soft, he reminds me of George when he talks. Very, very soft-spoken. My terrible sound EQ this weekend was using cheap ratchet strap to lift
That's a
a
slip.
slip roll machine. What the hell is a slip roll machine?
It's
And
Michael's.
and hearing the straps stretchy
Sketchy.
or sketchy. I thought it said stretchy. I'm like, oh, that's even better. Stretchy.
I figured your terrible sound was the cat you were trying to get down from the top of your barn, going into the corner and like plastering itself to the side of the barn.
Yeah, no, that for those of you who don't know, that's a huge barn door. It is very, very tall. And the cat was at the top of it. But
Yeah.
other than that, old Super Son, if you want to play some COD, since you're up, I will. You don't have to.
Okay, well, they didn't both show up, so I didn't know if they were kidnapping you or not.
Oh no, you have my undivided attention.
We stretch what we like. I'm not asking.
So there was a conversation we were having on Discord, and Flashbin said coleslaw. And I was like, what did you just say? And he said it again. And it got to the point where he said it like 5 times. And Gabby was like, he said effing coleslaw.
Oh, yeah, I remember you guys.
Coleslaw, Carmen. And I was like, oh. Sorry.
Oh, having slow.
I couldn't understand him. But I have hearing problems, so I get a pass.
What? And nobody listens to you anyway, so.
Exactly. Nobody listens to me. Only
It's all
Baker
right.
does.
Oh. Well, and I know he's one of your 27 possible dads out there. I saw that in Discord. I'm like,
I keep losing mine. I keep misplacing them. So I have to go find a new one. So he's
Well.
the newest.
yeah. What? Can't hear you. So we will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Carmen, and
4 p.m. Volcano, or 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 69 p.m. Or no, I skipped one. 10 a.m. the following day, Antarctica time, 69 p.m. Volcano. Something's burning. Please go see a doctor.
Oh, I thought you had vagina time last week when I wasn't here.
Oh yeah, vagina time. That is. It's 69. Some volcano. Something's burning. Please go see a doctor.
Okay, then.
You're
On
welcome.
that note, I don't have an outro for this case either because what do you make? It's awful. And we're only through the first few witnesses. So
You could be like, oh, Gregory went through a windshield.
no,
He
I
got
could
that.
not. No, I'm interrupting you right now. Nope, stop. Nope.
That was
Nope.
about to be a really good tune, and you stopped it.
Yeah, on purpose.
Mm.
So we're just gonna go with the old standby. It's not why does it hurt when I pee time.
It's that volcano vagina time. It's just that time zone. So, but you're good. I would probably see a doctor.
I would definitely see a doctor. And on
You know
that
who I
note,
wouldn't see? I wouldn't see a nursing assistant because they left somebody in a windshield.
wow. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow.